Well, it's a beautiful day, or I should say a beautiful morning here in Dillard. Forecast to rain in early afternoon, but we'll get as much as we can do done before then. And I wanted to show how we're doing these mite tests. Okay, now guys, these are not Viroxan. This is the Canadian strip right there.
Yes, sir.
And that's a Golden West colony she has in her hand right there. A lot of the bees in this yard are Golden West. There's some of our Caucasian mixed in too. John and Selena are looking for queens. So that block with white tape goes together with that cup with white tape, and that helps Jason keep track of where that came from. So we've washed 2 colonies in this yard so far. The first one was a 0, the next one was a 2. I don't know. This feels like cheating, you guys. I don't know about this machine. So Joe adjusts the.
Okay.
What's that?
Sometimes cheating's okay.
Sometimes cheating's okay. Yeah. In this case, I think it is. We're doing a lot of mite washes.
To keep this shape consistent, Bob, we've adjusted this dial until we get the spin motion where it brings the water close to the top of the lid. It gives us a point of reference, so we can keep it the same every time.
You know, I tried using this Ultra Dawn dish liquid with the normal easy Varroa check kit, and it seems like suds were a problem, but in this case we're not having a suds problem.
I think that's because we look at it through the bottom with this mirror. It's a magnifying glass mirror, so you can see the bottom of the cup really well, and it magnifies the beetles for you.
Hopefully this is focusing on that. So what do you got? I'm seeing 1 mite. Is that what you see?
Yes, sir.
1 mite. Colony number 3 has 1 mite. And we are reusing the soapy water. We're running it through a paint strainer into this 1-gallon bucket so we can reuse it. And yesterday Joe did a few experiments with all of this. He figured out that you can use the soapy water over again and it still works the same. We don't know how far you can take it, but with 2 or 3 uses it still works the same. I like it, Joe.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I like how hands-free it is.
So this is a magnified mirror. Joe cleans the cup out with a little spritz of water so there's no danger of any mite stain for the next round.
Okay.
Say it again.
So this is the first colony in the yard, number 1. It's a Golden West queen. The strips were on the top bar, just laid across the top bar, and they're the Canadian strips, and they got a 0 in their mite wash.
I like that. And then that gives you another chance to look for the queen. I like to do this before I just gives me 1 more shot at the queen, and then you can half a cup, a level half a cup is really close to 300 bees. We're trying to keep track of the variety of techniques we used for applying these strips. In this case, we followed the instructions and tucked them in down among the combs rather than laying them on the top bars. We're in the Timpson Creek yard doing our mite washes here, and just wanted to chat about something right beside us. There's a field of field corn right there. I know I gripe about corn all the time, and for good reason, but oddly enough, I've never experienced an issue with field corn. It's the sweet corn that gets sprayed. I know I've read research and even talk about research showing that the neonicotinoids that are on the seeds for field corn can be an issue, but I've never actually seen an issue from it. And the bees are bringing in plenty of pollen from that field right there.
Yeah, look at this.
What you got? Oh, it's loaded with pollen, yeah. It's mostly, let's get in the sunlight. There you go, perfect. So that's yellow. Got a little bit of orange, but you know, some of those colors kind of come after the fact. It's not necessarily that color. In fact, like that cell right there, I can see if you were to dig underneath there, it wouldn't actually be orange, it'd be yellow. So the color of the bee bread is not exactly the color of the pollen that comes in. Yeah, they're loaded. So how's the brood in this colony?
I don't know. I just happened to the first ring I pulled one. Nice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's wrapped with pollen too.
Yeah, we were in a couple yards yesterday that were really low on brood, but they had no pollen in the comb. And of course, those yards are just a week or two away from goldenrod pollen coming in, but this thing's loaded with pollen. Yeah. Seth, is yours loaded with pollen too?
Oh yeah. No, both of them frames and this frame right here's got a bunch on it too.
Oh yeah, I can
they're
see
loaded.
It's loaded, yeah. You got I don't even need to ask. You got plenty of eggs and everything?
Yeah, yes sir. No, we're looking good here.
Okay. So in this yard, we are doing the mite washes just to see what we have, but in general, if they're like the yards we were in yesterday, this yard had Canadian strips, which are showing very low numbers on mites, and we're just coming right behind it with Viroxan strips. It's all we have at the moment. Some of the yards we've had homemade strips that have been going back in, but we're almost to the end, and this may be the last yard that gets strips, so we're not going to go to the trouble of making more homemade strips. We're just going to use some Viroxan strips out of the store. Okay. Selena is just beside herself. She's so anxious to categorize all these numbers and get it all organized, and I'm anxious to have her do it too. I think this is the last yard we're washing, right?
Yes, this is the last one.
Yeah, we've got
And
reams.
we've got really good numbers in most of our yards.
Yeah, we've got reams of paper with data. Yeah, almost there. What's that? Just for the fun of it, or turn the camera off. What do you got on the first colony? You got a couple.
Yeah, lots of pollen in there too.
You got several. You got 11?
Mm-hmm.
So we have a decision to make. Are we going to do Apagard or strips? And I think with an 11, I was really hoping we wouldn't have to do Apagard in this yard because it's kind of a pain to come back and give them their second and third treatments. With a number like that, I think we're forced to do Apagard. So John, your first colony had 11, so it's going to get a rim.
Oh man, we were just okay.
Yeah. So we're gonna have to go colony by colony and watch the numbers and decide whether it's getting strips or Apagard.
Okay.
Low numbers are just getting strips. Anything with a
Off the pollen frame.
that's off the pollen frame, which is
Yeah.
should be pretty accurate. Okay. This yard's been a bit of a surprise in a couple ways. First of all, the mite numbers are extremely low. A lot of zeros, ones, couple twos. It's got Canadian strips. I've not been calling them by their right name. The Canadian strips are called Varroa destructor strips. And the mite numbers are very low. The queens, a car going by. Truck going by. The queens are Pollen daughters mated with Caucasian drones for the most part. We mated these Pollen daughters in a region that is dominated by our Caucasian colonies. And we'd been in a yard a few weeks ago that was Pollen daughters mated in a Pollen region that we had. Of course, the Pollens in both sides of the Pollen had come from a different producer. And they were so mean that we killed all the queens and came back with queen cells to replace them, even though they were queens from earlier this season. We were just not going to put up with that type of attitude. So we were kind of expecting to come in here and see some of the same with these Pollen daughters. But I guess because they were mated with Caucasians, it completely changed the equation. This yard, and it's not a nice day. It just got through raining. Our feet are soaking wet. It's threatening rain again. Every condition for having a colony be angry, and these are some of the gentlest bees we've worked in a long time. They were just gentle as kittens, and they were Pollen daughters mated with Caucasians. Now maybe we'll come back next week and get a whole different attitude, but today we were very surprised, very pleasantly surprised. Patterns are great, which is, the Pollens are bred for having lots of brood production, and this right now today I'm saying this combination of Pollen and Caucasian is a real good combination because they are gentle like Caucasians. They have pretty good brood patterns still, and they're very gentle. A nice yard of bees, and the mite numbers are really low. I'll go over and look at that paper that Joe's been writing on. Joe, right now it looks like your highest number is 2, and
Yes,
there aren't
sir.
even that many of them.
Yes, sir.
There's almost as many zeros in here as anything else. So we'll be paying attention to these different combinations of both queens and mating and strips and the type of technique we use for applying the strips. In this case, most of these colonies had the strips applied on the top bars. I think there was a couple where they were tucked in between the frames, and it just, right now, without all our data in yet, it looks like whether they're on the top bars or tucked in between the comb, it doesn't seem to matter. And we'll have a better idea about that by the time we're done. So we are feeding here. Some of the colonies don't need any feed at all. They're very heavy. If they've got a little bit of room, we're giving them a 1 gallon, and some of the singles are a little on the empty-ish side, which I expected. They'll be getting a 2 gallon. And what's the date? It's August 11th today, so we're kind of moving towards winter. Right now is the time to start getting ready for winter, starting to feed slowly thinner syrup. We don't wait till the last minute to feed thick syrup. We start feeding like 1-to-1 right now, start getting them heavy slowly. We have the benefit of an extended season compared to some of these northern beekeepers. These guys up north in Minnesota, Michigan, Vermont, their window of opportunity to get their colonies ready for window is much smaller than ours. They have to probably use thicker syrup and get it in more quickly than we do. We have an extended period that we can feed, so we make use of that and feed thinner syrup over an extended period of time, and that's what we're beginning to do here today. We could sure see the Pollen queens in here. They were all Italian looking. Of course the bees are mixed. You can see the Caucasian influence in there in the worker bees. Very nice yard of bees. I just wanted to talk about this one. It really surprised us. Hey John.
Yep.
Better hurry up. Starting to rain.
Yes, sir.
Let's get out of here. So this yard's Viroxan strips. The numbers are a little higher than some of the others. Looking forward to more Viroxan data. So far it looks like the Viroxan strips are not working quite as well as the Canadian strips or our homemade Swedish dish towels. What you got in that one? Oh, that's loaded, relatively. 1, 2, 3, 12. Oh, that's a big one. We're not seeing many of those, thankfully.
No, that's the first one.
So we have figured out that if you run these for 30 seconds, that the work is pretty much done. We've taken several and ran them for 30 seconds and then put them on for another 30 seconds after counting the mites and found that we didn't get any more. So 30 seconds seems to be ample with this little gizmo. You haven't even seen any brood yet, huh? Well, maybe we got a dud. We get a couple duds in every yard, which is normal in my view, for everything they've been through. Mm-hmm. That's a dud. Okay. Joe's making sure the cups are really clean.
Yes.
So you just had a 12 and now you got a 0. Okay.
This is the hardest part, is not doing nothing, staying here waiting for my 50 seconds.
We try to make sure all of these cups of bees sit for at least a minute before we swirl them. We've been told that that extra minute helps dislodge the mites from the bees. This yard is different, and we don't know why. It's all Caucasian bees, and it's got a high mite load, higher than any yard we've tested so far. It's running anywhere from, what kind of numbers we got here? You got 12s and 15s and yeah, you got lots of, you got a 21. Every colony's got mites. There's not even anything that's low. Well, you got a 4. That's the lowest one. That's unusual, though. We've been doing this for days, and this is the worst yard for mites. It was the best sourwood producing yard, notably. I mean, it really produced. And it's gotten the same treatment as far as mites go as some of the other yards. Some Caucasian colonies got the exact same treatment. It's the Canadian strips that were laid on the top bars, but for some reason this yard stands out above the rest for sheer numbers of mites, and we don't know why. We may never know why, honestly. Don't know if there's been some mite bombs in the neighborhood. I have no idea, but it's interesting that every colony has a high mite number. It's the first yard that's done that to us. I know that so far we can see that the Caucasians are a little more susceptible to mites than some of the others, but that's also understandable because we haven't really selected within our Caucasian population for mite resistance yet, whereas the other lines that we're using have. Anyway, we're giving them Apigard, and we're giving them a full dose, 50 grams. Because the temperatures are going to be in the low 80s and lower for the next 7 to 10 days. Some of the yards that we've given Apigard to, we started off with a 35-gram dosage, which I would kind of consider a half a dose. Come back in 5 to 7 days and do it again. And the temperatures were higher when we did that, though. In this yard, because the temperatures are going to be cooler, we're just going to go with the full dose. And Selena's doing a really good job of keeping all of this data cataloged. That one has 15 mites, that one has 13 mites. 13. This is the worst we've seen so far. This is not insurmountable. I mean, we'll get this under control and these bees will be okay, but it's just an interesting point. Oh, hey, Selena. Hey, John. We forgot these 2 nukes back here. Yeah, we need to look at them, possibly feed them, probably need to treat them too.
Do you want to treat or is it?
Well, let's see. Let's do a mite wash and see how they stand, see if they need treating. My guess is if these colonies need treating, those nukes probably do too. Okay.
Okay.
Make sure it's recording. It's recording, okay. Get rid of that. Hey, how you doing?
Doing okay.
Okay. What you got here?
All right. So we've been working on something we're really excited to share. We just finished mite washing over 1,000 colonies, all the colonies in our outfit except for some new nukes we're getting going. And we're comparing the different oxalic acid extended release strips, our homemade strips, the Varroa destructor strips from Canada, and the Varoxan strips, and also the different applications. So the vertical down in the comb and across the top bars. And we also have a lot of different queens. We have Golden West, the Caucasian, some Pollen, Indian Summer.
Some crosses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've collected a lot of really, we think, exciting information. We can't wait to share, but this is our rough draft, straight in the bee yard, getting rained on, notes. And I'm going to do my best to tidy it up and simplify it.
Good luck. Yeah. It's going to be a lot of columns of data. Yeah, it's very interesting stuff. We're surprised by some of the things we saw doing this. I've never washed every single colony before. I'd always done 10 in a yard or 5 in a yard, just kind of spot check. And it's really eye-opening.
Yeah.
When you think you're good, sometimes there's a couple outliers that aren't so good. Or when you think you're bad, there's a couple outliers that are really good. And suddenly you got some breeding stock. So we got, and then we also have 5 no treatment yards too. So they're very interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. All right. What do you think? 2 weeks? You can have this done in 2 weeks?
I think so. I think we can do it.
Okay. So if we don't have this out in a video in 2 weeks, you can blame Selena. I'm just along for the ride on all this data. What's the right word? Compilation? No. What's the right word? We're compiling this data and putting it in a format that we can understand. Compilation. Is that a word? Like that? Okay, that was stupid.
Okay.
Great. I can't put that on video. But that was good. You're going to do that all over again, right?
Oh, no.